Hello, my name is Dr. McDowell, and today I'm going to do a video for Freeform Dreadlock Talk. Freeform Dreadlock Talk is a show that I do where I share with you the experience I've had with my Freeform dreadlocks for 21 years thus far. And I answer whatever questions you have about my Freeform dreadlocks and answer whatever questions you may have about your Freeform dreadlock journey. So today I'm going to answer a question from a viewer subscriber who asked this question. Let me read it. Do you trim your locks? The answer to that question is no, I don't. And I kind of wish that you would have told me why you asked me this question, but I'm just going to assume the reason why. I'm going to assume the reason why is because whenever someone tells you the duration of how long they've had their dreads, you think that that depicts how long their dreads should be. Now, if you watch my past videos, I talk about that, about dreadlocks and the length of my dreads and the fact that I have them for 21 years and they're the length that they're at. Now, I talked about why they're at the length that they're at, and that's because throughout the years, I had did some really damaging things to my dreads in the beginning of my dreadlock journey. And I've also in the past, before I even had dreadlocks, had to repair my scalp from the 80s and the early 90s of having like chemical treatments on my hair. So being able to repair your scalp is really important, and that's what helps with hair growth. I've gone through a lot of stress through my life too, and that could wreak havoc on your hair at the scalp level, because that's where all the health begins, is right at the scalp. Now that I've eliminated a lot of really unhealthy foods for myself, a lot of not too many fried foods. I eat some here and there, but not all the time. And then that could wreak havoc on my hair and the health of it. So I'm not sure why, subscriber viewer, why you asked me that question, but there's the answer to your question. You know, I don't trim my locks. I don't find it necessary. These are freeform dreadlocks, and for me, the definition of freeform dreadlocks is to do as little manipulation as possible and just to let the hair grow out of your head the way that it needs to grow out of your head. Some would say, well, why don't you cut off this part? Why don't you trim off this part, which is, let me find that. I can't even find it. Where is it? Why don't you trim off that part? Can you see it? And I'm like, well, it's hanging on there really nicely and it doesn't want to go anywhere, so why trim it off? So I just let them grow in however they want to grow in and leave them alone as much as I can. Most thing I do is put a hat on, like I've said a gazillion times. I don't mind repeating myself, but I'll like put them up like this so that they stay out of the way. They don't get into any food or messy artwork that I'm doing. Or I just leave them down, but I don't trim my hair. And it doesn't make sense to do that when you have free-flowing dreadlocks. Why would you do that? I mean, the very definition of them, free-forming too, but free-forming. They're forming freely out of your scalp. So why would you feel the need to trim them? A lot of times the trimming and all that stuff comes about when people are, getting salon locks, maybe. Salon locks are just not my thing at all, because basically, I'm just not into like tightening my roots and all that kind of stuff, because that just defeats the purpose of having freeform dreadlocks. Letting your hair create its own locks, letting your scalp do its magic. And no, I don't cut or trim my locks. With my first set of dreadlocks, I did do experiments like that, and it was an experiment. And it's an experiment that I don't care to repeat. I just want to continue to let my hair do what it wants to do and keep it healthy, keep it clean. Another reason why anybody, not just the viewer subscriber, would suppose that my hair is trimmed is because my hair shrinks. When my hair is wet, it's longer, and when it dries, it shrinks and it's shorter. And that's like the texture of how wool is. When you wet wool down, it stretches out, and when it dries, it shrinks up. I have what's called 4C hair. So let me see if I can find an example of some of my loose hairs. Like in the back, it's really springy. You pull it out and then, you could pull it out to a certain extent and then it'll be on your shoulder or whatever. You know what I mean? Pull it down longer, it'll be down to my waist. I'm not obsessed with length of hair. I've said that many times before. I'm not obsessed about the length of my hair and how long it's going to get and how long it'll be. I'm really more concerned about having healthy hair on my head. And I think people are really obsessed about that when they get dreadlocks. They want to have really long, extremely luxurious hair. They equivalent really long hair with being luxurious or something. Or they see some pictures and they want their hair to look like that. And I'm not saying you, subscriber viewer, that's your case, because I don't know. Because you only asked me one question: do I trim my locks? So those could be some of the reasons why people would assume that about my locks. I don't trim them, and I don't plan on trimming them. And whatever is damaged comes off naturally, and whatever is not damaged stays on. You know what I mean? So if you've gone through many years of just doing all kinds of crap to your hair, and it doesn't even have to be chemicals. It could be putting your hair in very manipulative, tight hairstyles. Like a lot of the hairstyles I've seen people put their hair in to have dreadlocks. They're really intricately designed styles, yet you can see the scalp and how it's pulling at the scalp and it's damaging the hairline. And when you do that, you'll end up with a condition called alopecia, which I discussed in the video, in one of my past videos for Freeform Dreadlock Talk. People are wanting to make things look all tight and stuff. And Freeform Dreadlocks for me is just the opposite of being tight. It's more loose. So I've just been using really light type of maintenance on my hair. Like as far as if I want it up, like I just showed you, I do that. What I did